The NWF Champion Ace.
Pitts has called the match. For some strange reason, he's giving the victory to Kid Kelsey.
Mr. X declared the new champion.
The new champion, Mr. X.
He's won the title, man. Get him back. Bring him down. Dr. Crossen, the new champion.
Welcome everyone to another NWF Forward episode. Probably, and I have the honour and privilege of hosting one of the most special NWF Forwards of all time. Crossen cannot host right now because he is over in Northern Ireland with some of the biggest names of teenager wrestling to date. I cannot wait for this show. Now, Ben Nelson goes up against the Canary Kid tomorrow for the NWF Championship after 40 years of that championship. Now, if the Canary Kid doesn't get his game together and he stops using the dirty tactics, and his anger is going to get ahead of him. So I don't know what's going to happen with that match. But yeah, I'm so happy to be hosting this show. And right now I'm going to bring you to John McCann, the first ever trainee of Nathan Hoy, who's going to be having an interview with him for 15 minutes, and then we're going to go into Canary Kid. So I'll bring you to that screen now.
All right, everybody, welcome. I'm here at the Lions Den Dojo. Crossen here, and I don't have Canary right away with me. He's usually here on Forward, but he's going to be one of the guests, so he's not here with me, but he will be shortly. But I'm joined by Nathan Hoy, promoter, owner of NIPW. It's great to meet you,
Thanks
Nathan.
Thank you.
And John McCann.
Pleasure to be here.
See you in person.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's who our first guests are here, John and Nathan. And Nathan, John was your first trainee, correct, with the NXG back in those days?
14. Yeah, that was my first place I ever trained at, yeah.
So what made you decide to train, because it's not common, not a lot of, even to this day, there's still not a lot of trainers that are training people under that age. They usually got to be at least 16. What made you decide to start at an earlier age?
To be honest, because he was the first person that reached out. So he's the first person. So I thought, well, I got to start somewhere. So, so I thought, why not? Just take him on board and the young kid on his dream.
And how did you get into, what made you want to do this? Did you see an advertisement? Or?
Well, what ended up happening was we started off with, I was watching a show locally and I found out Nathan was on the show. So I was like, oh no, this is really cool. This big guy's doing flips. He's a luchador. Had a pretty cool mask. And I was like, I'll follow him on social media. So I found the poster for this place. And I went, I'm going to try it. I'm going to try and get through. And then managed to get a response from Nathan that I could join. I asked my dad and they said, no, you're not wrestling. Why would we let you wrestle? And I said, I'm going to prove to you, you're wrong, and I can follow my dreams. So 4 years in, and I'm now doing that. I'm proving them. I've had 2 title reigns and plenty more to come. I've wrestled internationally, and I've wrestled people from other parts of the globe that I've never been to before.
And you're really well trained. I mean, it's obvious watching your stuff. I mean, you're really, and you can tell you picked up things from different places too now, you know, in addition, and that's what it's all about. But now, my question now, when you first started, was it just you? Was it just John?
No, there was
more?
probably about 10 other people, roughly.
So when you decided to do the school, you just got that many people to sign up?
Yeah, because there was another training school that was in Belfast that closed down, and so a couple of those ones wanted to join here because I already had the ring, and then I thought, well, you know what? I was already paying for storage for the ring, and this is during COVID, so I thought, well,
it was COVID?
It was the uncertainty of whether or not anything would ever return. I thought, well, I've still got the ring. I'm paying to store the ring, so I was well open up my own place, and hopefully when things open up again, then I can have students. Yeah. So that's kind of how it kind of just quickly evolved into something like it from that.
Sure. And then so then how long did you train then, John, before you had your first match?
Well, we did run like a house show event, so we did about a year or so into it, but it really took about 2 years for me to be able to get my first match with Nathan. Wasn't perfect.
And it was with Nathan? It was with you?
Yeah.
It was the first one? Yeah. And it wasn't perfect, though, you said?
Wasn't perfect. No one's first match is, but it was special to me. It's like one of my many matches with Nathan. At this point, I've probably had about 10 or 12. Just with the touring shows and just the amount of shows that I've had with him, alongside him.
And was this the first? Like, was that the first time you came out in front of a crowd? Then
first match? Well, prior to wrestling, I had experience in the circus. I'd been doing like shows and just different stuff. Like, I worked with a company called Circus Lisbon, and they did shows for like the Festival of Fools and stuff. But I always knew wrestling was my one go-to because I loved being in front of a crowd, but I never got that chance to have that thrill in a ring with people. And that was, I could have done any circus act in front of any amount of people, but it would have never equaled the amount of happiness that this brought me.
Sure. And what did you think, John, like when you first started? How was it? Did you realize it might be a challenge having somebody that young?
To be honest, I thought it was probably more of a godsend that John was there. The other ones, because they came from somewhere else, they already thought they knew everything.
Yeah.
When you've got someone who's a blank slate and they're willing to learn, then they're just soaking it up like a sponge. It's a lot easier to train someone from scratch and make sure they don't have bad hops like the other people. And there's a reason why John's still here almost 5 years later, and those people aren't. So, because that's a testament of his ability, like, and able to like follow the coaching and like, you know, the proof in the pudding, as you know, like what he's capable of doing and places he's been and what he's doing at the moment. So,
And was there anybody else that stuck around besides John?
The only other person is D.D. Crooks, but he didn't start when John started. He followed like a month or two after.
Okay, but not far after.
Yeah.
And then when you look at the talent too, and what their levels at, D.D. Crooks is right up there too.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So that's pretty cool. So now, John, you're kind of went down the heel path these days, but you've been a face. What do you like better, heel or face?
Well, I don't really see it as that. I see it as I'm able to control the pace of my match better. It's not heel or face to me. It's just I like to be a lot more in control of my match. I just don't really get that when I'm doing face, as the control of the match is all based around how fast the heel wants to do heat. Mm-hmm. And I don't feel like a lot of people understand that, because there is the wrestling fundamental of your heel's there to slow things down and your face is there to shine and make things look good and fast. But a lot of people take that away from wrestling, and that's where your baby faces become people who aren't liked as much as the heels, and then the heels become a lot better liked.
Yeah. And it used to, I don't know if this is a thing anymore, but it used to be where the heels would call a match. They would be the ones leading it. And I don't know if that's even done anymore like that.
Not as much. Like, I guess sometimes it's like 50-50, you know, in terms of, well, if the more experienced person has that experience level, like, and they have a direction where they think the match should go, then they should, in theory, the other person should follow suit. Like, but if I was planning a match or something, or if I was going over something, I'd just start from the end and work my way back, you know. That way I know how it's going to end, and let's figure out how we're going to get there. So,
and you know, your training now is so much better, like I always say, and Sean Hernandez says this too. Our old school training was not as good, because I'll give you an example. Like Eddie Sharkey, the way you trained, one day would be one move and you'd do it 100 times, whether it's an arm drag or a hip block or whatever, and you just do it so many times that you would never forget it. and he would teach you all these different maneuvers throughout the course. And the way you get, it was never in a ring, just on wrestling mat pads in a gym. And then when he finally wanted you to work a match, he put you with somebody experienced to get you to, and you put all that together.
Yeah.
And that's how it was done back then. And that's how you learned matches from somebody who knew more.
Yeah, yeah.
So back then it wasn't heel or face leading. It was whoever knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And nothing was told to you either at first. Like nobody said this is fake.
Yeah.
You know, you found that out when you got into the actual match. But I'll tell you this much, doing bumps on wrestling mat pads, and then you finally get to get in a ring and do it, it's like, wow, this is like so much better. And that was the intention of it. They wanted to callous you up for it and get you ready, you know. So, but now I say it's better today though, because you really shouldn't be in, like with the way it is now with wrestling, you need to be in a ring. You need to be really going over this stuff all inside a ring, not doing it like that, you know, like the way that we did it back in those days. So now do you, like, I'm just curious, like, do you guys train, like getting thrown over the ring and that kind of stuff when it happens?
Sometimes, like if we're like getting ready to do like a Royal Rumble or something, I'll just go over a few things, like, you know, okay guys, we'll go over how to exit the ring the correct way so you don't end up like over rotating and end up knocking someone in the front row, like Keaton in the face with your foot, like so. Because especially in here, it's just very small, like, you know, little intimate settings, so you gotta be careful how you get exited over the top. So things like that there, you would go over it again. Just especially when you're throwing someone in for the first time as well. Like sometimes good to have like a new debut for a trainee, because come through the curtains, like nerve wracking as it is, and it's easier to do it through a Royal Rumble, where if the nerves gets too much, you can just tip them over the top, okay, and then. Or if it's a proper singles match, then it may freeze up in the ring, where we've had that happen a few times. So, and it doesn't end well for them. So,
it's great.
Well, yeah, and people, I imagine they're just. I know, I remember the feeling. You're just butterflies. You're nervous. There's people, you know, and they feel like everybody's on you watching, right? And they are. So, but it is also a very cool feeling when you get through the match and you know you did it, and it's almost like a drug addiction. You just keep wanting more and more and more, right? And that's what keeps you going, you know. So, who of all the time, who's your favorite opponent that you've had? Would you say out of everybody?
Honestly, I'm not saying it because he's sitting here. Like, I've had a lot of matches, but the easiest person I've ever came in contact to work with has been Nathan, because he understands how we all move in the ring, because he's taught us from day one to now. He's seen what moves we can do and what we can't do, so he doesn't go for anything that we can't do, or he works always on our strong points. So every time we're in the ring, it's always a good match, and it's always quite easy to work with, especially on the touring shows. That's where I've had like most of my matches with Nathan. Yeah, but he's definitely up there. He's probably number one for me. If I was saying someone that wasn't Nathan, I'd probably end up saying someone like Tucker, because I really enjoyed my match with Tucker. Tucker was a level that I've never seen before, seeing as he had been in places that I've always wanted to be, like the WWE or the UK circuit, working just around places that I've never seen myself in. It was just really cool to be in the ring with that stature of an opponent. Or second.
Sure. And then I know that, like, John, I know in the beginning you had some, like, I just know from our own personal conversations, you had some confidence issues and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
How do you feel now with that? Do you feel like you've gotten better with it?
Well, my confidence issues usually came from the fact that I just love this so much, and I hold myself to a high standard that I know that I can't meet, but holding myself to that standard, I do a lot better in the ring. So looking at my first match tonight, I can see the improvement myself, but still nowadays, I will beat myself up about matches, and Nathan's always been the same as well.
Yeah, you're your own worst critic. You always are. Yeah. And that's not with all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think you have to be consciously aware of like your own flaws, because if you think you're your shit, don't think. Sorry for swearing. If you think you're like the greatest thing ever, then I mean you're never going to really improve. You gotta be humble. You gotta know that, okay, I'm not the best in the place. Like, you know, okay, that match may have been great that time, but I mean you're only as good as your last match as well. So just because that match was great, the next match you might be a stinker, and then it can snowball from there.
Yeah. Open-minded and be able to take constructive criticism. Some people can't do that. They have a hard time with that. Mm-hmm. But you're right. You have to be open and willing to adapt and change. And stuff. I always like to, when I always would like to try to correct anybody, and this is just not in wrestling, but if I ever give constructive criticism, I always start out with what they're doing good, but you need to work on this, and then end with something more positive at the end. So it's called a sandwich effect. You put what you need them to work on in the middle, but if you let them know what they're doing good, and at the end, they take that criticism better. Versus some people would just be like, "What the hell did you do out there? You screwed up this, this, and this." You know, you don't get the same reaction.
Doesn't sound familiar, doesn't it?
Well, I did hear good advice one time from Joe Cabret, and he said that he would normally, if he was giving feedback, he would also ask them, "What do you think
Right.
you did well?" before, and let them say what they thought they did well for themselves, and then he'll either say, "Well, correct them," or he'll agree with it. You know what I mean? So he had a different way of approaching it in case like he didn't pick up on something, but again, get them an opportunity to see what they thought they did well, so he can get them the feedback off that. When I thought it was actually pretty good.
Yeah, that's a good way too. Yeah, but like my when I do the sandwich thing, it's just because I've learned that I was actually taught that in the management course, and I always thought that was a good way to do it because no matter how bad somebody is, there's got to be something they did good. Yeah. So just let them know that. It just reassures, try to reassure them. Now, have you had anybody that you're training, Nathan, that's just like didn't work? Like this guy, it didn't work out, and he just wasn't for him. And did you ever have to have a conversation and say like, I don't think this is for you?
I mean, there's been a couple of people like, but I just thought like last year there was a particular person, and I had to tell him like not to come back, only because I thought everyone else was like so far ahead, and it's like it would digress everyone else. They would have to go back a step, and it's like it was just going to slow them all down. So I just had to be honest, just say, listen, we're not going to have the ability to give you 100%. Training and like backing you 100%. So especially if you wait for our next intake and stuff like that. So
sometimes you got to make those decisions.
It's hard because it's business as well, because you're trying to like make money, but then at the same time you're like, you don't want to upset the people that you have, and make sure like you're looking after them, helping them, so they don't feel like they're always going back again to the beginnings, fundamentals. You want to progress them,
carrying them through. And it's like the old saying, one bad apple can spoil the bunch. So I mean, and then how many trainees have you had? I don't know if you know the number, but how many do you think you've trained so far? Give her, roughly.
To get on shows, I'd probably say 15 or 20 people like that probably help launch their careers. Sure. Obviously, you've had people have like came in because I don't really do that many intakes of new trainees because I want to give 100% to everyone and like give them a fair dig at this year, like try and get them booked internationally or even on their own shows. If you have too many people, like you can't devote your attention to them. So I'm like, there's another place you can go train in Belfast. Maybe they may be more suited for you. Sure. Because I think you need to give that one-to-one special treatment to each person and help them. So I'd probably say like at the moment, probably got 20 people that have helped launch their careers, and each one of them has excelled and went on to do bigger and better stuff, like, different promotions and traveled internationally and stuff. So I think it's best to have like a smaller knit crew of people, like, because they're reliable as well.
Yeah. And then I know you also have the kids class training, and that's a whole different element. That's just like teaching them the basics and the fundamentals and everything. And you even had a kid match here not too long ago.
Yeah. Kid Chaos and the Wii Show. Yeah, it was, and to be honest, that was one of my biggest highlights, as a coach as well, because getting like 2 young kids going in there and doing what you've taught them from scratch and showcase that in front of an audience, and believe me, it's not all family and friends who come to these shows where some people may believe that's the case. It's not, they're general proper fans, wanting to see the product. So, and when they're given an ovation and like stand up and they're like, saying that's a heck of a match, and then you have other people from outside this promotion, like from different training schools around the country, and they're like, we actually went on to watch that match. Sure. Probably they went out to watch it out of curiosity to probably like, dump on it, like, and think it's not going to be the greatest thing ever, like, and then they were, I guess they were mistaken, like, they've seen the quality of it, and it's probably a lot better than some stuff they've got in their own show, so throws it back at them.
Yeah, I mean, and then I guess we have to, before we get up, we're going to be taking a break here, but not quite yet. But when we do, before we leave with you guys, I got to talk about this match coming up for this championship right here, as you see on the table. John, you know Canary Kid all all well, right? As you guys go back.
I mean,
and
I was his first bumps. I was his first match. I've
Yeah.
seen that kid go from a shy kid who's came to a seminar and didn't understand the fundamentals of how to speak to people to being the most mouthy person I've ever seen in my entire life. But it's going to do him well. And that's how he's got himself into places like this. He's managed to carve himself a path of excellence. The guy has become something that I've never believed I would have seen out of him. Like, you bring me that kid from that seminar and you put him up next to Canary Kid, they're two different people.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to see how far he's came.
That's the training, really. That's all the hard work of training them and how the payoff goes.
Mm-hmm.
But also Ben Nelson. Now, Ben, what I've noticed with Ben is the improvement he's made really, and just recently, even like in the last 3 months, even. Like, I've noticed a big change in, but Ben too. Now, obviously, Canary's got more experience.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I guess I'm going to put you on the spot, John. Who do you think is going to win this match?
Well, you know what I'm going to do here at Crossen is I'm going to extend that a bit, right? So what's happened with Ricky is Ricky's been put in the same spot that I was when I wrestled him for that title. Not that one, but the NXT Junior.
Yeah.
And he's now seeing it from my eyes. He's now seeing it that he's got the rookie. Can Ben beat him? You know what? Ricky had a chance when he faced me. He's beat me now. So who's saying that Ben can't win this?
Well, I mean, anybody can win it.
I think Ben's got
I
this.
hate to put Nathan on the spot because you train both of them. You'd probably be happy with either one of them winning. But
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I have a personal relationship with each one of them. They're both good kids, so I want to make sure it's a good, clean fight. Obviously, but I think Ben's doing quite well at the moment. He's got his head screwed on right. He's I think he can probably protect Canary because Canary at the moment getting a wee bit too cocky, if you ask me.
Well, yeah, no, and I can only do so much when I'm 5,000 miles away with him on the podcast because he likes to think he's the big shot. Yeah. I always wondered why he wanted to come on this podcast, and now I know because he wants the spotlight, right? That's Canary. Yeah. But I still think he's pretty talented, though. I've always said that, and I think they'll both do well. Mm-hmm. But as a referee, I cannot even. Johnny is trying to ask me who do I think is going to win, and I'm like, I can't answer that, Johnny. I would be impartial. I have to be impartial on this thing. So, and then Johnny kept trying to get me like, what are you going to do if he pushes? Well, if he pushes me, I'll push him back. Yeah. He's like, now I see that wrestler coming out on you, and I'll control my temper. What are you kidding?
Yeah, we've got to keep it referee only.
But no, I think it's going to be a good match. I'm really looking forward to it. I just hope I can get these guys to start seeing it that way because right now, from what I've seen, they've been at each other's throats. And if you go into a title match with that kind of vengeance, who knows what we're going to get. So that's why I want to try to see what I can do with them here when they come on. Now, this is going to be the first time they've probably been around each other in a while, so I don't know what they're going to be thinking. We'll see. We're in a wrestling ring. This is a real dangerous situation.
It is. So. You never know what can happen. You never know.
Yeah.
Wrestling is one of those places anything can happen. So.
And John, whoever gets this belt, what about John McCann? Would you ever want to get a crack at that?
Do I want to crack at that? Well, I'll tell you this, Crossen, right? I'm the one that's seen everybody's first bumps. What do they know that I don't? I've seen them go from randomers off the street to professional wrestlers who believe that they can do this for a living. I'm the one that's sat here. I've put the work in. I've put the time in. For 4 years straight, I've been at this promotion. I opened the doors of this place multiple times for these guys, put on training sessions when other people weren't here. Who says that I don't deserve that more than those?
It sounds like maybe John McCann wants to be in this match to begin with.
You know what? I want this, but you know what? Sometimes you've got to
make it a triple threat match.
You've got to let other people have it sometimes, and I know I can't have the spotlight forever. So sometimes it's got to be shared.
I'm gonna. Nathan said I could pick anybody, and the reason I picked those guys, Ben and Canary, is because, in my opinion, just from what I went through with when I was at his age, or I should say their age, I heard these same. I didn't get all the opportunities either because I was so small, and I heard all that stuff, and so I figured I'm going to give the opportunities to the guys who I feel deserve it for the reason I deserved it back in the day. I was being a little selfish in the decision. I'm not going to lie, but that's what I thought. That's why I picked him. Now Canary thinks it's all bullshit, and he thinks that I picked him because he's the best. And I have no choice. But no, that really was the reason. So, I mean, So it should be pretty good. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break, and when I come back, we'll have Ben Nelson and the Canary Kid, and we'll continue on. So let's take a quick little promo break, and we will be right back.
The NWF Champion Ace.
Pitts has called the match. For some strange reason, he's giving the victory to Kid Kelsey.
Mr. X declared the new champion.
We have a new champion, Mr. X.
He's won the title, man. Get him back. Bring him down. Don't you cross me, you new champion.
All right, now we're back. Just like magic, they switched places, and I got Ben Nelson. Ben?
Yes,
Great to see you.
Great to meet you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And Canary Kid. I tell you something, guys. So, Canary, in person now, you got to behave yourself.
Oh.
And you got Ben over here. So just make sure that you just keep it, I'm serious, keep it civil and keep it calm.
I agreed to keep it civil as long as Ben keeps it civil. That was our agreement when we spoke privately.
Right,
That
we
was our
did.
agreement, and that's what we're sticking to.
Right, so we're just going to be no funny business. No, I mean, I know you guys are still heated with each other, but I just want to make sure we keep this nice and clean, all right?
Yep.
Even right now. So, big match coming up in 24 hours. This title is going online for the first time in about 40 years, and it's a great opportunity for both of you. And I'm really looking forward to this. So I'll be obviously refereeing, and I guess my question is this to start with. Now, you guys, Canary, you guys have been at each other's throats now for all this time. Do you remember when we first announced this match a few months ago? Remember?
Mm-hmm.
And do you remember the things you guys were saying back then? How this is your best friend?
Yep.
And you guys really, you looked up to him. He's your mentor, right? Remember that, Ricky?
Oh, yeah.
Remember all the respect you had?
Uh-huh.
So what happened from that point? Like, why is it that you're at each other's throats now?
I'll tell you what it is, right? I'll say it from my perspective, okay? The way I see it is, Ben's just someone who makes excuses repeatedly. He's constantly making excuses for why he is not at a certain level. He always blames it's a knee injury, or he's getting held back, having a tag with someone instead of getting his own run at things, or someone's attacking him, or someone's costing him this and someone's costing him that. It's never Ben's fault. It's always someone else's fault. Ben can't take accountability. He's in his own head. That's exactly what it is. It is so frustrating for me as someone who's been here for as long as I've been here to see some new kid walk in here and disrespect Nathan Hoy's training by trying to put everything on everyone else instead of realizing that he just needs to work that little bit harder. If you look back at my early stuff, never once did you see me make an excuse. Never.
Are you being for real? Look back at your early stuff. You had the easiest career of your life. You were wrestling once every 3 months. Ricky, see that wee ear infection you had? I had it exactly what you had. And do you know what I did? I went out and I wrestled a 5-day tour in England. And I came back and I fought Samson Law. And do you know what he did? He bruised my ribs. But you know what I did? I wrestled every week after that. Because you know why? Because I want this more than anybody, Ricky. Saying I make excuses it's honestly the most outrageous thing you can do in this situation. Because I have never once made an excuse. Never once have I made an excuse that has just been made up so I can get past it. You've never made an excuse. You've never made an excuse. Oh,
Oh, really, he attacked my knee. That really, really hurt. How dare he attack my knee? Oh, he beat me, but that's because he attacked my knee. That's because he attacked my knee. He had to target my knee.
I didn't say it was because you attacked my knee. I said it was because you're a cheating little scumbag.
I didn't cheat at all. Is it against the rules for me to touch your leg? No,
but
don't come in the match of injury.
It's respect. It's just out of respect, Ricky.
You're being thick.
No, I'm not being thick.
You were trained by the same person I'm trained by, so it's something you're raised. Is it because Bangor people don't know how to think? Is it from where you're from?
Is it because Twin Brook people just like to
You
cheat
don't know
about
how to
everything?
think?
Like cheat everything?
You like the rest of your
everything?
family are a bunch of clowns. You don't know what you're doing. It's a simple
Nice
stuff.
days.
Don't go in for an injury. You're so dramatic. You just want to cry
Okay,
over
with an
everything.
injury.
You just whine to get what you want.
I whine to get what
You
I want.
whine to get in this title match. You don't deserve
do
it.
this. I can't do this.
There's
oh, no,
people
I've got
back
an
there
ear
who
infection.
deserve this title much more.
No,
than you.
there's not.
Yes,
There's
there is.
nobody that deserves it more than me.
John McCann and your own big brother deserve this more than you because they don't
And
complain.
that's the biggest load of shit. Do you know why? Because I've been in the gym every single day.
What did they do?
What do you mean they don't complain? What's wrong with complaining? Anytime I complain, anytime I say something's wrong with me, do you know what people say? They've got something worse. You know why? Because they just think they can put me to the side and act like I'm a side piece. Exactly what you're doing now.
Because you put yourself in that position by making excuse
I don't put
after
myself in that
excuse.
position, Ricky. Look at the size of me. I'm bigger than you. I'm bigger than what I was flipping a year ago. I put on 20 kg from a year ago to now. It took you about 3 years to actually take some initiative and at least put on 3 kg. This guy.
No, you can talk about your size all you want, but I don't know if you've watched me before, but I take out the biggest people here. I'm the Titan Killer. It doesn't matter who you are or how big you are. I have so much more talent than you, and you know that.
Do you know why?
So much
Do you know
more.
why you take them
Go
out?
why?
Because
Why?
you do nothing but yap their ear off.
Oh,
And they're just like, why do I want to be in the ring with this guy? I'll let him beat me up for a few seconds, and then I'll walk away.
I up.
That's all you do.
You're the one who's won one match in your entire career. Every other win that you've got has been from Jordan. The one singles win you got was from a miscommunication on someone on their debut match. Your first win was earlier this month, and you think you deserve this? No, you don't know how it feels to be a champion. I do. I'm a champion.
care.
No, listen, you're not a champion. I am. That's why you look up to me. You saw me win that championship. You were one of the first people to go out there and congratulate me.
No. I did look up to you. You're right. I did. But I don't now. Do you know why? Because see, ever since you've lost that junior heavyweight championship, I have not seen the same Canary Kid. I've seen a coward. I've seen someone who for some reason takes no for an answer now. I've seen someone who sits back and is fine with taking the second seat just because you had your little 10 seconds of fame. But I'm not up for that. I'm up for taking that title. I'm up for taking that around the world. And I'm up for defending it against anybody and anyone who wants it.
You say I took a second seat. No, just listen to me here, right? Listen to me. I'm not even going to go directly at you. Just listen. The people want to hear me speak for once, right? Here's what it is. I didn't take second place. What I did was I went to management and I told them I don't want my rematch for a title. I want to work my way back up. And that's what I did. I fought people on their debut. I fought Chris Cannon. I fought Brandon Jenkins. I fought all these people who are new to the business. And I gave them matches. I put my all in the matches against them. I fought my own coach and I lost. What did I do? I didn't go and complain. No, I went straight back into it. I teamed up with John McCann again. We were doing great in the tag team division. You beat us. Fair play. I think it was a disagreement between me and John McCann, but you just won. I respect that, right? But then when I get my moment, when I finally stretch and claw my way to a championship match after putting you in the ground and making you tap like a bitch, I got my title match. And what did you do? You took it from me. You took a crutch to my back. Why? Because you're nothing more than a jealous fan. And that's all you're ever going to be. You're my protege, remember that? There's a pecking order here. You're always just going to be silver. I am platinum. You don't know respect. You don't know a thing about respect.
I don't know a thing about respect.
No, you don't. I don't know if it was your
You've
upbringing.
done nothing but run your mouth for the past 3 months. Even the Crusher, you've done nothing but run your mouth constantly saying, I don't deserve this, I don't deserve that. You don't know the half of what I deserve. See, in reality, see if I got what I deserved, you wouldn't be able to lace my boots because you're that far below me. You don't put the work that I do in. You go to school and you sit there like a good boy. You listen to your teachers and then you go back home. Do you know what I do? I go to the gym every night. I go to work every day to make money, to spend money on myself because I invest in myself. I don't look for my EMA. I don't look for mommy's pocket money. Okay? This is all done by me. This is me. People may think I'd be riding in the back of Jordan's coattails, but I'm not. Jordan was in America for 2 weeks. You know what I was doing? I came up here to train, and I went into the gym every single day whenever he was gone. You could not even say that you've stepped into a gym.
Let me just, folks, we don't mind, let me just pull the curtain up for a second. Ben talks about himself as this hard-working individual who balances all these things at once. He has a job. He's in a relationship. He has a family. He goes to college. He goes to the gym. And he also finds time for wrestling. Only 5 of them things are something he does because he doesn't find time for wrestling. Ben, how about you go ahead and tell the people how much time have you trained in this last week on the build-up to the biggest match of your damn career?
See, I haven't been able to train.
Yes or no?
because-
Have you trained this week?
No, because scumbags like you can't even deal with your own hygiene. That's why.
No, I'm here all the time. Every time I can be, I am here. You're not.
All
And what do
right,
you
that's
do?
enough.
Make
I'm
excuses.
tired of hearing the yelling. I'm going to start talking now. And I got about 5,000 things to say to both of you. And you're going to listen. No more talking from you. 40 years ago, I had a championship match for this belt. It's ironic, but it's been about 40 years since that time. And just like you, Ricky, it was my protege. I was his mentor. And I went into this match just like you are right now. I didn't really care about my friend. I cared about that belt. And I wanted that championship belt. And you do too, because I can tell. I can hear it in your passion. And Ben, I know you want it too. And so did my friend. And he was my best friend too. It's ironic, but it's the same situation here. 40 years ago, I did this. And I went into this match and I put that belt first because I thought it was the right thing to do. Guys, you don't know what you guys are about to do if you go into the match with that kind of mindset. I'm not saying I don't want you to wrestle hard for this belt. But if you put your friendship on the back burner from that belt, you're going to regret it for the rest of your life. I have spent 4 decades. Every time I see this belt, I'm reminded of it. Here's the thing you got to remember, guys, about this business. Everything in the wrestling business comes and goes. Wins, losses, trainees, gimmicks, the belt, championships, everything. There's nothing permanent here. It all comes and goes. There's only one thing that's forever. One thing. And that's the friendships you make in this business. They will last forever. But you can also destroy them forever. Don't make the mistake I made. Don't go through this and regret it. Because you will. And you don't see it yet. Because you've never had it happen. Just like I never had it happen. Until it was too late. I give away my right arm, Ricky, to go back in time and change it. I'm not saying to go in there and play nice. You go in there and you go in there hard and you hit it hard. But if you're gonna do this right, you gotta respect each other in this match. Do you understand what I'm saying? Guys, I want you to look at each other right now. Just look at each other. Look at each other. Ben, turn your head and look at Ricky. Ricky, look at him. Look at it. Look in your eyes, okay? I want you to stare at each other. Now think back to what it was like when you became friends. When you first met each other. The friendship. You remember? Remember what that was like? Ben, do you remember? Ben, remember. Very first time. When you realized you had a friend in this. Because I know the story. You didn't know anybody. He was your age. You remember?
Yep.
Now remember the best time you ever had together as friends. So there had to be something you did. Traveling somewhere, whatever. Remember?
Yep.
Remember those good times, good feelings? Do you remember, Ricky? Do you remember? Because I want you to remember real good. You got a nice, clear vision? Because if you go into this match with the way you're thinking right now, these memories are gone. They're gone forever. Trust me, you're never going to get it back. I spent 4 decades, and I'm reminded of it every time. Now, Ricky, last week I asked you if you respect me, and I want you to look at me right now. Do you respect me, yes or no? Yes or no? So if you respect me, that means you respect the belt. But to respect the belt, you got to respect Ben. You have to. For the 60-minute time limit. I'm not asking you to be friends. I'm just saying respect each other. The friendship may be gone. It may not. It's not destroyed yet. I just want you to respect him. If you respect him, you'll respect the belt. To do that, All I'm saying is no more dirty pool, no more cheating, no more dirty tactics, no more going after his knee that you know is bad. You go in there and you give it everything you got. Everything that Nathan taught you, you give it to him. And you don't back off. You just give it to him as hard as you can with respect. And Ben, you do the same. No more crutches, no more hitting them from behind. You go in there and you fight it with everything you've got. Now, here's the reality of it. You've got the experience. And you know him. You helped train him. You know exactly what he can do. That's an advantage. That's your strength. Not doing dirty tactics and going after his knee. Your strength is your experience, and you use it. Ben, you're an underdog in this. I'm sorry. But as an underdog, you can still win. You got to hit him with something he's not ready for, something he doesn't know you even know. Maybe something Jordan tipped you off on. You hit him with something he doesn't see coming. That's how you beat Canary Kid. Underdogs win. I was telling Johnny, 1974, Muhammad Ali against George Foreman. Nobody thought Ali was going to win that fight. Not only did he win it, he knocked him out. It was unheard of. You have a chance just as much as Ricky does. So if you guys go into this match with everything you got, with every single thing that Nathan has taught you in this, we're going to have a really classic match that people are going to remember. And I'll tell you what, you go into that match like that, I guarantee you'll come out with two things. Guaranteed. The friendship won't be destroyed. It may not be repaired, but it won't be destroyed permanently like I did. And the other thing is you're going to win, lose, or draw. You're going to come out of this match feeling a lot better than you went into it. Guaranteed. There's going to be a winner, there's going to be a loser, but guaranteed, I can guarantee you that. Now, I'm going to ask you guys, if you can do this, I just want you to shake hands right now and agree to do this going into this next match. I know, Ben, I know you respect me. I didn't have to ask you. I have to ask him because he's been rough with me on the podcast. I don't know where he's at, but he does too. And if you guys both respect me, then I want you to shake hands, respect the belt, and go into this thing right. That means no dirty play, no cheating. Just do it right. So if you can shake hands right now, Ben, Ricky, I want you to shake hands right now. Good.
Good luck. Let go
So-
handshake. Let go.
Guys,
Let go. I'm not joking. Let go of the handshake. I'll slap
guys.
the shit out of you right now. Let go of the
it was
handshake.
just a
Yeah.
handshake.
You have to count to three. Then let go of that handshake, or I will slap the shit out of
That's
you.
how it goes on.
You want to see how it goes? Three.
Did you not hear what I just
You want respect? You just lost it. We lost it. I'm Anthony. I'm the champion. You're not. And the fight out. Come on, Hank. You finished. Finish. Finish that boy. I'm here. Are you ready? Stop it. Stop it. You want to hold on the handshake? Stop you hold on the handshake. Talk your boy.
Well, I've been told to cut it here at NIPW. Things have been going mad here at the Lions Den Wrestling Dojo. They're both fighting with each other, and I actually cannot believe what I've just seen here. I'm speechless. They've just tipped each other over the table. And if this is what they can do to each other, but the day before, when coaches are around, think about what they can do to each other when they're in the ring and the referee, the coaches cannot do anything about this. This is going to be crazy here. So thank you all for watching. And if you haven't got your tickets already, there's still a few tickets remaining. So buy your tickets at www.nipw.com. Thanks for watching.